Welcome to this video of Seibert Media. Today I'm going to present our product Didit Checklists to you. It's a long form video, so as you may see down below in YouTube, it's going to last for quite some time. The idea is that I run you through the initial installation and all configurations and all features of Didit Checklists. There is quite a few things that I want to cover. This video is meant for people who had an initial look at Didit Checklists and like it, or who know that checklists and developing corporate habits is something that they want to instill in their organization, and who want to dive deeper. So this is a deep dive to Didit Checklists. Let's get moving. Everything that I'm doing is live, so there may be some hurdles and bumps in the road while I'm doing this. I do have a script to try to focus on a cohesive story as much as possible, but it's more or less a way of not forgetting too much. There will be some strategic parts where I'm going to be talking about target groups and those things, but basically it's how you can use our software. Okay, I've opened up diditchecklist.com, our website. Let's scroll up and down real quick. This is like basic information about the software. We'll cover all of this together. If you click on try out now or use it 100% free, you'll come to our marketplace entry. Actually, there's two. There's a checklist for Confluence app, and then there's also a Jira version. Let me introduce you to that. So if you click on Seibert Media, there's the Confluence version, and then this is the Jira version here. And actually it doesn't matter. They both work very similarly, and I will show you around in both. I have created an app called, or a Atlassian site called checklists.app.atlassian.net. Let me show you real quick how you get this on your own. So you go to atlassian.com, and then you click try now. Oh, they seem to be down. Atlassian.com, that's all right. Too many requests. Okay, doesn't rectify easily. So obviously the Atlassian website is down. Never experienced that. There's a big blue try now button, and you can register for a cloud instance, which obviously I've already done, and my instance is still up and running, so we are good to go ahead. So if you have this Jira instance or Confluence instance, you can go to apps and then explore more apps. And then you type in Didit, and you'll find the corresponding app. In Confluence, you would find the Didit for Confluence, and here you find the Didit Checklist for Jira app. It's a free app, so as soon as you click it, you can install it. I cannot install it because it's already installed, so I can click Get Started, and we'll go into what we call the onboarding experience. So that's kind of like the first 3 steps. And basically what you need to understand with Didit is we're trying to build corporate habits. So in your organization, in your corporation, you want some stuff to be reliable, to be repeatable, to be of high quality, no matter who does it, no matter when it is done, no matter how often it's repeated. And we think that in those, we call them blue areas, routine processes, checklists can help a lot. Where checklists cannot help as good is in complex areas, red areas, and in fully automatable areas where you could have a software code or a robot do something. And checklists shine where routine is needed, but humans are also needed to fulfill the routine. Everything that is offline, everything that is physical, like moving an airplane, for example, or moving a car, or a bus, or a train, checklists rule in this area. And when you create those checklists, we think of, you have a template, so someone has thought through how this should be done, and then someone else is just checking off boxes. And so you need a template, and from the template you can have what we call a checklist instance. So this concept is pretty important, because a lot of people confuse a to-do list with a checklist. A checklist is something that is pre-configured and is copied over from the template. A to-do list is something that is created on the fly, added and subtracted tasks. And our app does offer to-do list type checklists as well, but we're way less intelligent and powerful. So we're not competing with, I don't know, Todoist or any type of to-do software of that kind. We're rather very good when it comes to, I have this template and I want to reproduce this process over and over again. And when you come to this onboarding process, we try to get you into this mood. So you tell us, oh, I'm working in sales, or in marketing, or in finance, or in human resources, or production, or any of these departments. And then we offer you, let's say you're in sales. And then we offer you 5 checklists that you could use. So a pre-call checklist, before you call a customer, a prospecting checklist, a sales meeting checklist, a closing checklist, and a follow-up checklist. And let's say I like all of these, so I'll generate those templates. And then it's generating those templates for me, and I can look at those and say, let's look at the pre-call checklist. I can make changes to A, B, C, so this would be another task. I can add a description here. Think about A, B, and C customers. That doesn't make too much sense, but I just wanted to show the description feature here really quick. Everything else here, we're going to go deeper in that later. Looks fine, so I'll just save that. There are some reminders, because if you're typing in something earlier, I'll show you later, we'll use AI to produce suggestions and also to create the checklists. And this may take a while, so we have those slides down here. So basically, we support 2 things. One is habits, and the other is quick tasks. Quick tasks is like the to-do list type of thing. Habits is more like you have this template, and then you make a copy, make a copy, make a copy, make a copy, and then the routine goes, and you can still make changes, but that's, in my opinion, the most powerful thing. Then we try to educate people on, we have Confluence and Jira apps, and they work together at the same time. So all checklists that we create in Jira can live in Confluence as well, can be displayed there, can be changed there, and they'll update in the Jira issue just as well. Then we try, and this is a pitch that I also want to get across here, we're better than subtasks. So Jira does have subtasks. Checklist tasks are much faster, lightweight, and you can easily convert checklist tasks into subtasks and get all the power of Jira that subtasks come with. And then we also support mobile work and blue-collar worker integration. So people can install a mobile app. Let me pull that out real quick. So this is my phone. So that's my phone, and in the upper left-hand corner you see the Didit logo of the app. As soon as I click that, there's again recently called things, templates, checklists that I've worked on, and I can scan a QR code. There's no QR code here yet. You can see our studio here, but we'll go into that later. So that's the mobile app. And if we use one of the QR codes, then we can scan this. We have a lot of automation, so we have validators, we have post functions, and then you can say people can only transition an issue if the checklist has been filled out completely, or after someone puts an issue to done, I want to check off all checklist tasks automatically or skip them. I'll show you later. And then you can require signatures, you can require a picture uploaded or a comment made when someone answers a yes/no question with no. There's statistics for analyzing how often the template has been completed and how long it took people and so on. Yeah, that's kind of it. As all these have been generated already, I can hit finish. And then I have all these checklists in here. You can always come back to the generator, and you can also type in, let's say, serverless software development. Okay, and now we have to wait a little, and then we have a serverless deployment checklist, a serverless application architecture checklist, a data storage checklist. Let's say I like the first two I like, so I click generate templates, and then this is the same thing that we just saw, but now it's generated based on my needs, and this will also work in your language. So if you're German like me, or French or Spanish, you can also have suggestions be generated in your language. It doesn't say that this is pretty good, but it's at least using a lot of features, and it's a good way to get into creating templates. That's what the generator does. Let me skip this here, and let's look at our app. So you can always reach this area if you go to apps and then Didit Checklists. And it's working the very same way if you're in Confluence. So you can also click apps and Didit Checklists. Obviously, there's a light and dark theme, and in Jira, I have activated the dark theme already. Don't be surprised or distracted by this. It's very simple to change that. You can just go to light, and then you have a light theme here. Okay, so there are three elements. We have looked at the generator already. There is a list of templates that we've created, and there's a list of checklists that we've created. And as this is an instance that I'm using regularly, this is already full. There's a lot of stuff in here, so there's 65 templates, and I have also a shipload of almost 500 checklists generated. It's all test data. But this will be empty when you start, and unless you've generated a couple of checklists, or templates at least. I will run you real quick through how to manually create a checklist or a template for a checklist, and then we'll learn how to create checklists on our own. And this is very simple. It can be also very lightweight from within Jira, but as we're looking at the software in a complete way, I wanted to start here and give you all the complexity of it. There's an area of settings where you can say whether you want the checklist always to be displayed. This is what we recommend, and that's also what the app comes with as default. But you can also put it to on demand, so only if you click on the Didit icon, the checklist will appear in the Jira issue. And deactivated means you basically can't use it. And this is something that you can also use for a specific project. So we have this company managed project here, and if I don't want to use checklists here, I'll put it on deactivated. And for the checklists, project. It's on demand, and for those, I'll activate it. Okay, and then there's also an element from the settings area. Sorry, it should be. I'm sorry. I need to. I'm ahead of myself. We've just introduced, and it's not yet deployed here. There is also an ability to enable or disable AI generation. And this is still a staging area, but by using this toggle here, you can say that your users shouldn't be able to use AI. Let me show you real quick. When we created new template, there is also a generate with AI button here that you can use. And the generator also has this input button that I already used to generate your own templates. And if you deactivate AI, those two features will not work anymore. We had a lot of customers ask for that. Probably they are suspicious that AI may take away their secret sauce of their business. Whatever, we built this toggle so you can deactivate it. So, okay, let's go manually and do the work on our own. We create a new checklist, and we were at sales call, so sales call checklist. Use this to prepare and go through a sales call professionally. See also, and I could add a link to some our wiki.atlassian.net/whatever ABC. Then I could add metadata. So I want a customer name. I could suggest customer names that have been populated already. Please use the same names as in our CRM and no preset value. Okay, so this would be metadata number 1, and then the second would be sales rep. Enter your username. And I could also show a suggestion, make this field mandatory, so it has to be filled out. I'll make this also mandatory here. Okay, and then look up what type of business model the customer has. Check CRM on recent activity with the customer. Read through the requirements we know and prepare to offer some solutions. So obviously I am looking at so that's inbound. So the customer has asked for something, and this would be preparation. So let's call this preparation. Let's make this convert to heading, and then I'll pull that up here. Okay, and then the actual call itself. Make sure there are no interruptions. And while I'm doing this, you already see that generating this with AI is so much faster, especially for me presenting the software. But you have to understand that most good checklists have to be created manually. So you can use AI for a first glimpse on how this could work, but actually a checklist is only good if it really is tailored to your processes. So you'll have to go through this manually as well. Did you confirm that you understood the business model of the customer correctly? So I will make this a yes/no question, and I will require a mandatory explanation when people answer with no. Because let's say we're in a sales business or we're in a marketing-driven business, we need to understand what the business model of the customer is, otherwise we can't offer good solutions. So a yes is kind of like mandatory, and a no is not a good thing. Then make sure that your ratio of listening in comparison to speaking is way above 50%. So we want to listen and not always talk in sales, so that the customer feels understood and we can really help and not just toss some solutions towards them. Agree on next steps after the call. That's basically all these things. I think you get the picture. It's stuff that you put in a checklist, but what you actually put in is not really relevant for us here. You can delete a task, you can add a description, you can change it to yes or no, or you can convert it to a heading. That's what we offer for checklist tasks at this point. I can require a signature. It doesn't make too much sense here, but I'll still activate it just to be able to show it to you. We can have recurring settings, but I'll show this with a different element later. And then we could have a template manager. That's a pretty interesting concept in my opinion. So let's type in an email address, mseibert plus demo@seibert-media.net. And then I can add and invite this person as a template manager. Here. Okay, and then I save the template. And what the template manager does is whenever I create a new instance or complete an instance, this template manager will get an email with a PDF export of the completed checklist. I'll show you once we've completed our first checklist. Just to make the configuration complete in terms of explaining that, let's look at this quality control checklist, and let's assume we want to do this daily, or maybe this isn't good for a daily checklist, right? So let's create a new template with the help of AI. Generate with AI. Call it daily cleaning checklist. Office cleaning checklist. Okay, and then this can take a while. And once that's ready, we'll use this recurring settings here to make sure that this checklist is created daily. That's a pretty cool concept to make sure that you don't have redundancies and someone fills that out daily or weekly or whatever. Okay, that's it. We'll just use it as is. I'll add the signature. Let's make it editable. I can show this as well. And then we'll make it recurring daily from today on at, 6 a.m. every morning. You can have an assignee. That could also be me. Demo 2. at seibert-media.net. I will run through all these things here. So I'll invite me as a template manager here as well. And Seibert plus demo at seibert-media.net. Okay, and now we save it. And now off we can go to create a new checklist. Now we have a recurring checklist here, and we have an inbound checklist. The only difference is I can create as many checklists of this type as I want by always clicking on create checklist, or there's other ways I'll show you. And this is a recurring checklist, so every day I can only have one checklist. That's why it says create checklist, and here it says open checklist. So for the whole day, it will only allow me to work on the very same checklist. So for example, if I now start working on this checklist with a QR code, it will be the very same checklist as if I clicked on create checklist. Let's look at this. So we click on open checklist. Here it is. This is how the checklist is looking. And let's assume I have emptied the trash bins already. So I'll just check this off by clicking here. And now let's go back here and let's show a QR code. And now I'm coming back with my mobile phone. It's raining outside. Not a good summer. Okay, so I'll scan the QR code, go here, and then what you can see is there's already a checked item on the bottom of the app. So it's the very same checklist that we just created. Let's assume I now, there is no need to dust all surfaces because I've done that yesterday. So I'll add a note here and said, I did that thoroughly yesterday. And now I can skip it. And if I want to show that I have vacuumed the floors, I can add an image. So I'll take a picture. This is our studio floor. Take this picture. Yes, use photo. And here it is. So let's assume I'm ready. So that's it. Okay, that's good for now. Usually I can copy this create link here and send this to anyone via chat. Now I'm just creating a new tab and paste the URL, and it will open up the web interface. And this, by the way, can be accessed by anyone. And we'll see that everything that I've done, the skip task with and also the vacuum task, are here. I can mop the floors. I can say my name is Martin Seibert, and the cleaning date is, I don't know, what is it? 25th. So 2023, 07, 23, like ISO format. Okay, and then told save a task. And so we are always getting the very same checklist for the whole day. Even if the checklist doesn't change for the whole day, it will be regenerated with the next recurring cycle. Let's go back and see, that was 6 a.m. in the morning, I think. Yeah, 6 a.m., that's what we said. Okay, let's look at a regular checklist. So if I create one, that would be inbound for Coca-Cola. So I'm trying to sell them, I don't know, a checklist app. So that would be Coca-Cola. I would be Seibert. I know their business model. I have checked the CRM recent activity. Could, for example, add a link to, let's say we're using HubSpot. We also support keyboard shortcuts, so I could type in Command and Enter, and then it will automatically be saved here. I can also upload pictures here. I can create an issue from this task, as I'm in Jira. So let's do that here. Or let's do that in Jira later. I can say, did you confirm that you understood the business model of the customer correctly? Yes is okay, I can just check it off. So this will be the same that he's hitting yes. But if I say no, as we have said, it's mandatory to give a note or an image now. The customer has no business model, which is obviously bullshit, but then I can check off the tasks if I give an explanation. And once you finish that, and this is something you may remember that we have said that it's mandatory that we sign, which is kind of difficult for me with the mouse. I'll show you on a mobile device, it's much easier. Oh, I forgot to show the statistics, but we can look at this online. So if you send a link to someone, so it's now copied. I hope that handshake does work with the mobile app. So if I now go to the recent tab, it's asking me, Didit would like to paste from MacBook Pro of Martin. Do you want to allow this? And I allow this. And then the clipboard is read out by the app and says, oh, there's a link inside that I can create a checklist with. And then I create this checklist with. It's just another means, as I could just scan the QR code as well, but wanted to show a different way. Also, if I just click the link, it would also open up the app. And now I've created a new checklist instance, because this is not a recurring checklist, doesn't make sense for here. I can also type in, so this is now, it will suggest Coca-Cola because we typed that in. Let's say I'm using that again. And then it's also suggesting me the sales rep name again. And I can check off all these things. And then I can sign easily. That's looking much better. And then we also get the statistics here. So in the last 7 days, we have completed this 2 times, and the average time is 1 minute, obviously. That's not a lot. It's always on Tuesdays. And then we also get a nice quote from Atul Gawande, who wrote the Checklist Manifesto. A cool guy, by the way. And you may want to look into the Checklist Manifesto if you like checklists. Okay. So much about creating templates and filling out checklists. There is some integration that we offer to Jira and also to Confluence. Let me show you around with that. By the way, hold on, we could do the portal first, thinking of, yeah, let's do that. I may forget it otherwise. We're creating a template manager, and this template manager can log into a portal. And we built that because some of our customers, they couldn't afford as many Atlassian users, so they needed a way to get the vast majority of their blue-collar workers into the system. So we created a checklist portal where you can go by typing in app.checklist.info. And then you can log in Let's see. I should have an account here. Okay, and as you can see, it's looking quite similar, but this is now a web page. So this has nothing to do with the Atlassian ecosystem. You can only use Didit if you have either a Confluence or a Jira instance tied to that, but you can use the whole checklist features through this web portal as well. And you can create templates, you can create new ones, you can create existing ones, you can change those, and if you change them, they will also be changed in the Atlassian ecosystem. But you have to be a template manager for the checklist. And it's meant to help us integrate external people who can't log into the Atlassian site. But it's only relevant for you if you have a lot of people outside. Checklists, by the way, can be filled out by anyone. So as soon as you send, for example, the sales call inbound checklist generation link here, even if I open an incognito window, so no one's logged in here, you can still use this URL and everyone can fill it out. And this is also working on the phone. This is a responsive interface and it just works the same way on the web. So we'll use Coca-Cola and Martin Seibert again. I'll fill this all out. Consign it. Yeah. Okay. So now we can go and look at Jira integration and Confluence integration. If you create an issue in a project that has those checklists enabled, let's call it prepare checklist presentation for Team Academy. So I'll assign this to me and create an issue. People do that all the time in Jira. So we go here and we see a checklist here. And this is what we call an ad hoc checklist. I could use the templates here, import and replace checklist. And then, sorry, I don't want to import it. I want to replace it with the template. And I can use the sales call checklist here and attach it. And it will be just the same checklist that we know, just within this Jira issue, including the signing and all these things. Now I can sign. Okay, easy. We know that. But now it's working within Jira. But let's look at an ad hoc checklist. Ad hoc checklists. So if you open this up, it's already displaying what we call an ad hoc checklist. And I could say, okay, explain that this can be changed at any time later. Show the conversion to a subtask. Show that all tasks can be converted. Show that a checklist can be exported and imported to reset the ad hoc checklist. I'm just writing myself a checklist for showing you what needs to be shown. There's probably more. Let's save. And let's see, what else can we do? We can export it. We can create a template from the checklist. But that's obvious already. So you use this checklist and then create a template from that. You should know what I'm talking of. Show finished task details. That's something that we could add. So what I can do, this is like a checklist to be completed now. And I can edit the checklist. And this is something that we've activated with the other checklist earlier, editable checklists. So you can click this and come back and edit this. And now I've forgotten what I wanted to add. Show details. Explain the show details option. What else do we have? Move to the right, title and description. Oh, that's very simple. So you can show the title or hide it. Okay. Move to the right and left. Okay, you can open the checklist in Apps Checklist View, so that's where we've been. If I click here, we come back to here. Pretty simple. And what else can we do? Okay, I can give feedback. Let's run through the feedback cycle as well. That's helpful. Show the feedback cycle. Okay, and let's go through this. So I've shown this already. This is a pretty cool feature. So for every task, you have the three-dot menu as well, and you can say create a subtask from this task. And then the task will be completed, and you'll have a backlink to the subtask. And as you can see, there's a subtask here as well. By the way, you can also create an issue from task. And then you see that it will also be automatically backlinked here. You can move the checklist to the right, and then it will sit here. It's very non-obtrusive, like you see, like 4 have been checked out of 7. That's why it's yellow. It will turn green if it's 7 out of 7. I can open it, and then I see this checklist in a very dense way. If you like that better, you can have it on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, sorry. I like it better when it has a little bit more breathing space. If you show the task details, you can see whether when it has been completed with the timestamp. You can give a feedback. So, how about? Oh, I need to do this with the template later. Sorry, that doesn't make sense here. And what you can also do is you can create subtasks from all of these. Convert open tasks to subtasks, and then they will all be converted. And as you see, we have a lot of subtasks here now. And this is especially interesting if you find out that this is a bigger thing and you want to assign things, or you want to have statuses and all these things, then you'll create those child issues and then assign things to yourself and say this is in progress and this is done and so on. So yeah, just like the normal magic of subtasks. You can also finish that. We had a couple of customers who said, oh, unfortunately I finished that. We've then built a feature so that you can export a checklist, and then you can import it again. Yeah, import. And then you can start all over again. It's a workaround, but yeah. Okay, so let's maybe we can, let me save this. And then every checklist has a, or if you're creating a checklist from a template, let's do that again. And maybe we'll configure something first. So I'm in a, is it a, yeah, this is a team managed project. It's only working for team managed projects. There's so-called Didit settings. And then you can say, if you're creating an issue of the type release, please attach the marketing for new software release checklist. And if you're adding a monthly task, so Monatsaufgaben, please attach the monthly to be completed bookkeeping tasks checklist. Let's do that real quick. And so we'll create a release version July 2023. And then look at this. And there's a checklist automatically attached. I didn't do anything. It was automatically attached because we have configured it this way. And you will get a public link to this checklist if you want. With this public link, anyone who has the link can look it up and fill it out. So you could pass it on to a customer, for example. Or what you can also do is you can go to Confluence and paste it there. And that would be our first Confluence use case. So we create a page and say July release, and then we say blah, blah, blah. And then I just paste the URL that I've copied into my clipboard. And as Didit is installed here for Confluence as well, it automatically understands, oh, this is my link. So how about I insert this checklist here? And then I can have this checklist live here as well. And obviously it's also linked. So if I check this off and skip this one and then go back to Jira and reload the page, the checklist will also be automatically updated here. So that's that. I wanted to create a Monatsaufgaben task as well, month of July. And then I'll have the bookkeeping tasks automatically attached. Pretty simple. Yeah, works. There are so-called project validators and post functions. And bear with me, this is kind of deep into Jira. So if you're an admin, you probably know this already. But for the others, I'll try to explain as simple as possible. So there's a company managed project here that I've prepared for that. There's a difference in Jira between team managed projects and company managed projects. Company managed projects have more configuration options. Team managed are easier to use. And if you have a company managed project, you can go to project settings. You can go to workflows. You can look at this in text. Oh, sorry, I want to edit this like this. And then let's assume we want to put something in done. So we'll click on this transition. So from progress to in done. And then there's so-called validators and there's post functions. And there is no checklist post function here. Let's go with this first. So we say complete all open tasks when I completed an issue. That's okay. I don't know what would be a good use case, but I can see the use case for skipping. So skip all open tasks. So there's a checklist and you're finishing your task or your Jira issue and set it to done. And then I want all of the open checklist items to be skipped. That would be done by this post function here. Let's add this. No parameters available. Okay. And now we have this post function here. You can also delete it, but I don't want to. So I need to publish that. I don't need a backup copy. Okay, and if we now create an issue in this test with skipping tasks. I think I deactivated the app for this project earlier. So let's reactivate it again. Sorry, that was not a good idea. Here, let's go to project settings, configuration, enable project here. Company managed. Yeah, I deactivated it. That was wrong. So it should be activated. Well, let me show you on demand. We didn't do that yet. So, okay, I'm going back. Making a reload. So here we go. Now I have this button. And there's no checklist because it's on demand. So as soon as I click here, the checklist will open. That's what on demand means. So you have to activate it manually. And now let's get any checklist. Again, our inbound checklist. Here we go. And I'll work with Coca-Cola again. I've done those two, but I didn't do the others here. And now I'm putting this issue to done. And then my post function should trigger. Let's reload the issue. And ta-da, everything has been skipped. It doesn't automatically put in my signature. So that's kind of, can't be automated. But it did skip automatically the checklist elements. Let's dive deeper again. We go back to workflows, and now we are looking at validators. So that's like before you can transition, we will validate whether you have completed the checklist. And if I add such a validator here, so where is it? The connected checklist is completed. Validates the assigned checklist complete before transition. That's what we want. So we add this. We need to publish this. Again, we don't need a backup. Publish. Okay, and if I create a new issue again, new issue with validator activated. Let's look at that. As this is still on demand, I have to click this, replace with template. I'll get my checklist again. And if I now try to put this to done, it won't work because I have this validator set that says, oh, before you go to done, you have to transition failed. In this issue, it is mandatory that you complete the checklist before switching to this status. And that's kind of like enforcing, and that's really a use case that I can imagine quite often if you're in a regulated industry or something like that. You may want to have this signature first here. And now that the checklist is finished, I can put it to done. And now by the way, the post function would kick in, but there's nothing to do anymore. So, yeah. Okay, let's go back to Confluence. And go to our page. So I can create a page, and I can have a test page with ad hoc checklist. So I can type in checklist, and then I'll get this ad hoc checklist and say blah, test 1, test 2, can create my checklist, testing, save that, and I'll have a checklist in my page. To be honest, that's not very helpful, apart from I can finish it, I can sign it, I can add notes and upload images and all these things. But Confluence does have, admittedly, this feature of tasks here. That can do the very same thing. So that's not that unique. But it can become unique already if you want to use a template. So instead of this ad hoc checklist, I can generate one with AI. That's something that Confluence can't do. And I can also replace it with my sales call inbound checklist. And then I have this checklist on this page, can fill it out, and it will sit in the admin area as well. Hold on, I didn't see it. Let me reload. We'll try again. Let's replace with template. It doesn't look good here. I'll have to check this later. Shouldn't be that way. So normally you should have just a checklist. Let's look at some other stuff in Confluence here. I want to show some other magic. So you can have so-called page templates. And within those page templates, you can create a multitude of things. For example, there we had I think it was from a customer demo. So we would create some stuff that we would do in every Confluence page, and then we also have this checklist attached here. And whenever I'm creating a new page with this product quality gate 4, let's do that. It will have this checklist automatically attached. Maybe we'll run into the same error. Doesn't look too good. No, it doesn't display this checklist. I'll have to check this out later. Okay, but what you can do is basically you can create a template, a page template in Confluence, and whenever someone uses this page template, a new checklist instance will automatically put into this page template. That's good for everything quality handbook, for everything ISO certification or SOC 2 certification. Whenever you're doing some type of documentation on processes and want to have a checklist attached, that's a very good use case if it works. Let me look at my script. Oh, there's, if you're ChatGPT, more AI, but this is kind of pretty sophisticated already. If you have a checklist template, or any template, you can export this as a JSON. That's just a regular type of file. So if I open this, let's show in Finder, and then open this with a text editor. It may not be pretty, and you may not be too deep into technical stuff, but what you can do is you can simply copy that. So I'll just copy that and don't care about all the content. And then I'm going to ChatGPT. and say, I can have a regular chat here. Help me with a checklist for an inbound sales call. And actually, I'm not too concerned about the content of the checklist here. Sounds good. This is looking good, but please translate to German and use the following JSON format. And that's pretty cool now, because I can just insert the JSON that we've just downloaded. And ChatGPT will then also answer with the JSON, in German, by the way. Okay, that's good. I'm copying this. And now I go back to my file. Where is it? Doesn't open. Let's open with text edit like this. So I'm replacing that, saving that. And now I have a new JSON that was generated by ChatGPT after, it could be a long conversation, change this, do this language, and so on. And then just giving it the JSON format. And now I can import the file. Let's do this real quick. So we go to Apps, Didit Checklists, and then I say import template. And I have my JSON here. Import it, and here we go. So that's all German, all good, inbound, Sales Anruf Checkliste inbound. Verwenden Sie dies, auf einen Verkaufsanruf professionell vorbereitet zu sein und ihn durchzuführen, bla 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 bla. So that's pretty cool. Let's save it. And I have a German checklist generated through a conversation with ChatGPT. I'm using that myself a lot to save myself time. You can also do it like on the go, like when I'm with my phone. There's an app from ChatGPT, and I'll talk to it until the checklist looks just right, and I'm adding stuff manually. And then in the end, I just tell it to convert it to the JSON format that we're using with Didit and import it. It's helped me a lot in the past. You can have a list of checklists, by the way. Let's see whether this works. And I apologize for having things that don't work, but it's part of software. Like 5 minutes before I ran into this, we made a deployment. So that's probably, normally we're doing a little deployment, and then we have a checklist that we run through, but I didn't do it. So I should stick to my checklist first before recording checklist videos. List of checklists. Let's see whether this works. So what you can do is you can have a filtered type. I can not use any filter, and then we'll show all the checklists that we have in the page. That's looking good. Yeah, here we go. And we see which checklists are completed, and I can go in and edit them and so on. So I can use a Confluence page and show all the checklists that are in the system. What is even better, in my opinion, is if we filter this, because so I could only use the inbound sales call checklist. Where is it? Sales call checklist inbound. There it is. And I only want to have those who are signed from this month. And then we get a much shorter list. I can look at those. And by the way, which I didn't show you yet, there's a way to export the checklist or show a PDF version of the checklist, which will also sit in my inbox because we have said that I'm a template manager. but let's do this from here. So export as PDF. Here it is. And that's the checklist, including my signature, and also all the pictures will be in here if I upload any pictures. And this will also sit in my inbox, as I said. Yeah, that should be pretty much it. I'm sure I have forgotten one or two features, but as you may be able to see, it's a pretty extensive offering that we have already. So feel free to check it out. Let me give you a rundown of what you can do if you have more questions. So the first thing that I would recommend is that you type in seibert.biz/checklists-chat. And if you type in seibert.biz/checklists-chat, it will open up a Discord channel. And you can see as Jorge, for example, he came to us today and joined our chat, and then I suggested to him that he sent us an error message that he had on an Android device, and he just said, I didn't read that yet, that he will send it to me. So there's a Didit Checklist channel here, and you can get live help from us. You can also use our support channel from the marketplace. Let me show you here. So if you are in the Atlassian Marketplace, oops. And then you search for Didit. And there is there should be a support, whatever. So you can book a demo call, by the way. You can look at our release notes. You can also join our community and click on, so if you find that, for example, Jorge told us today that he wants to highlight important checklist tasks with the color, and if you agree, you can add your voice here. It's pretty simple, like you only have to log in and then you can give your voices. And it's something that I showed you that we have made AI usage configurable. That's the deployment that we just did. And it's because of popular votes. I don't even think that deactivating AI is a pretty helpful feature, because we only give very short prompts to OpenAI and they give us back a checklist. So there is no spilling of internal information of customers, but still there's a lot of customers who wanted that. And a lot of Germans, by the way. And so we're doing that. It's just, we're very customer driven in terms of what we set out as features. And it was one of the top trending things and easy to be done. So that's what we did. And so please start voting for stuff. You can chat with us. You can simply select a date when you want to have a call with us. It's very convenient. I'm going to be on vacation for a long time, but I assume you'll see the video later, and then the availability should be better. And also other people of the team will be available as well. We have a changelog where you can see what we've issued recently, and we're actively developing this. So please keep looking at this. We have a pretty cool documentation. It's extensive, so seibert.biz/checklists documentation will bring you there. But also from the marketplace, the documentation is linked. And also if you search for the documentation, you'll find it. As I said, it's pretty extensive. And there's also links here for chatting. We have every 3 weeks, we have a public review where you can come and chat with us, and we'll introduce you to the new features that we've created. That would also be something that I would highlight. Then we also have a video in our academy. So if you're buying Atlassian licenses, especially in Germany, you'll get free access to our academy with all the learning content. And there's also a Didit video for you waiting there. Okay, that should be it for how you can get into contact with us. I'm looking forward to that. And thank you so much for tuning in and being with me. If you like that, you can give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. That would be highly appreciated. Thanks. Bye-bye.